We're going to show you how to sign in to IDEA. So go ahead and click through to the site, and when you reach their main site, click on Sign Up. First of all, make sure that you enter your full school email address, including the nks.kent.sch.uk. And at this point, you can enter your group code, such as this one for the Year 9 in 2025 and a student in apps. Replace the letter at the end with your form letter, BU for borough. And they previously used the standard GDPR 13 years old, now they've changed it to 16. Feel free to drop a couple of years from your year of birth, but make it match if you're happy to send your parents an approval message. The month and the date does not have to be accurate if you're concerned about your own information. And finally, create yourself a password, tap it in twice, agree to the terms and policy, and sign up. Enter a nickname, and this can be anything you like, although do remember we will see that nickname. And hit save. And if you want to, pop through the tutorial. I'm going to give you a bit of a tour, so I'm going to skip that. Confirm your age, even if it's not quite right. And then immediately pop up to your profile and edit. At this point, enter your full first name and last name. That's really helpful for us making sure that we can give you points and stuff later. You don't need a recovery email as long as your school email works. But of course, after you leave NKS, your school email will be deleted. And so it means the recovery email can then be used to re-access your account. No need for a mobile number. And as you can see, entering a valid code when you sign up will mean that code will appear here. But if it doesn't, enter the code in this box, click Add, and then click Save. Do make sure you press the Save button before you leave this page. So once that's all done, you can start to give it a go. Down here on your front page, you'll see the bronze progress bar. You'll see how many points you've currently accrued. And there'll be a kind of shadow line that will move further across until you get to the 250. Below that, you've got direct access to these 4 categories, but you can get a little bit more information in the badge store. And that gives you access to 6 categories, although the independent category doesn't actually have any badges in it yet, so don't get excited. These are the 5 that you can accrue points in. You can press the little arrow to expand each section, and that'll show you what all of the badges are. To click on an individual badge, like this fake news one, you get a little bit of a preview of what it's about, the total number of points, and some of our students in the past have said that roughly double the number of points is the number of minutes it takes, but that's not going to be exactly right for every single badge. And then you can press Start to load the badge. Now the badges differ in the way they work. This one is a kind of scrolly web page where you sort of click on content and it takes you down through the page. Some of them are just flat web pages with next buttons at the bottom. Most of the badges will remember your progress. But if you're on a long tall page where you're working down through particular bits of content, please be aware that the badge will very often only remember which page it's on and will take you all the way back to the beginning of that page. So it's worth recording the content on a particular page if you're unable to finish it in a particular session. A handy hint is to press Ctrl-P and make sure the printer is set to Save as PDF. That will allow you to save a file printout of the page so far, obviously recording what you've entered in on the page. So when you come back to the badge, you can just follow that and copy the content in and carry on. So in summary, the citizen badges are all about computing in society. Things like the web, e-safety, data protection, ethics, cybersecurity, social media, and so on. The worker badges provide you with IT hints and tips related to managing your own career. And that obviously applies to working as a school student as well. Things like creating digital portfolios of your work, different digital careers, interview techniques, digital research, and so on. The maker badges are all to do with making things, including coding solutions, virtual reality, video editing, web design, graphic design, and so on. The entrepreneur badges are all about making money, anything to do with business and money making. So advertising, big data, money management, problem solving, being an influencer, social media. And the gamer badges, not too many of those, are all to do with programming and game design. The 250 points need to come equally from all of the first 5 badges there, so you'll need to get 50 points at least in each of these categories. You don't have to complete every single badge in each category. So the best approach is to look at each category and think about which badges will be easiest because you already know the content or you're already particularly keen. Get some points under your belt before you start to work on badges where the content is new to you. We'll be setting some points targets as we go through the year to try and make sure that every single student is fairly close to completing by the end of Year 9. But remember, this is a Year 9, Year 10 and Year 11 project, and we'll be nagging you about it all the way through to Year 11. The very best of luck.